to Dice, Nerds, and Nagas, coming at you from beautiful Phnom Penh, Cambodia. Dice, Nerds, and Nagas, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, and let them roll dice. That was pretty inoffensive.
I like it. I like it.
Also,
It's much better than the last.
You know what's funny?
You know what's funny?
Right now, it's right after the U.S. midterms, and it's crazy how overnight a caravan full of ISIS terrorists was completely forgotten about by the Republican Party.
The House Democrats are the only thing that changed, so maybe they...
It's almost as if the story was a made-up scare tactic for racist white people.
It's caravan anymore anyway.
But then, why would Donald Trump lie about something? He's the president. They don't lie.
He's never lied a day in his...
No. I could never tell a lie. Quote, Donald Trump.
You chopped down the cherry tree, right?
It's one of those things where like they quote the quote and then they attribute it at the bottom to themselves after they've attributed it to whoever actually
George
did it.
Washington
George
didn't
Washington
die. He traveled through time to present day.
That explains the terrible hair.
And changed his name to Donald Trump. And the wooden teeth.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
It's a goblin bar.
Can I just actually?
So like none of this.
They were ivory
so,
made of actual teeth, weren't they?
No, they were actually donkey teeth and other slaves' teeth and
They weren't wooden.
they weren't wooden.
No, they weren't wood.
No,
That's just
they
like a
weren't wooden.
story.
They were slaves' teeth, donkey teeth, and something else.
For George Washington.
Yeah,
That-
yeah.
that-
I like
the rumor is.
I'd like to change with some donkey teeth. Those guys can munch. Like
You could graze for days.
grace for days with donkey teeth.
TF.
Oh Jesus Christ. Anyways,
We're completely off the rails. There are no rails.
I think every DM throws a few rails.
Story
in
so
there.
far.
So the story so far, our characters had quite handedly dealt with one of T-Meal's lieutenants. And so T-Meal was just like, whatever, come on up, I guess, if you're this gonna make this big of a ruckus about things. You know, realizing that his minions may not be up to the task of stopping him. And then the music changes, because things got creepy. So,
We do that.
they had healed up a bit after the battle, and the whole castle began to shake lightly. Not like, you know, it doesn't change their movement necessarily, but it's just there's a low shake going through everything. Everyone's twerking.
Feels like more hill giants, yeah?
Oh, I don't think this is hill giants. They said it was snow giants at the time. But
Giants.
we'll deal with that. Maybe.
Yeah.
Later.
Maybe we'll deal with it. We don't have a great track record with following through. Anywho's, the hallway,
Yeah.
completely empty, very silent.
Yep.
Doors are all open, and except for one great sort of cold iron gate that's set up along the left-hand side of the hallway. He'll ask you to travel down.
We need to look very carefully around all these things. Make sure this is safe to go through.
Okay, I'm looking for traps.
I do too.
So you don't find any traps. When you pass by the large gate, you hear Female's voice again, saying, to your left is the portal straight to Stygia. If I wanted, thousands of demons could pour... Demons, damn it. Thousands of devils could pour through those gates at my beck and call. Remember that.
Noted. No, let's just go.
Further on, going toward the staircase, one of the open doorways, it seems there's a small study in there. And inside, what can only be described as some sort of man-tiger-like creature wearing nobleman's clothes, but his face and ears and things are unmistakably feline.
But
His tail swishes by and says, hey, mortals, can you close the door, please?
I shut the door. they should try. I shut the door as I
Okay,
said, so
we're-
let's go.
I
Do we have to
think
go this way?
yeah.
No, this is just along the way.
Yeah.
Just a door along the way.
Yeah.
There's no problem. Yeah, that's actually perfectly valid. That little encounter's done. He wanted you to shut the door. You shut the door for him. It's,
Alright, let's go.
Maybe he will.
the door is a mimic.
Hey, that wisdom score finally is kicking in.
So, yeah, someone seems to be using her character in Vampire's common sense ability in D&D.
You know,
So,
it's a lot of crossing.
you know, going up the stairway, you can see the way is empty. The room is full of chains, and there's a sort of gross, sort of vile, bloody, rotten smell in the room. But there's no creature there blocking the path at all.
So it opens up into like the hall.
Go through there.
Yeah. Alright, so, yeah, this is just, this area is just big, separate room for the last stairway.
Gotcha.
I'm still sneakily looking for traps everywhere.
I cast my
Right.
mage hand.
Huh?
And I send it ahead of us. Like, sort of.
Feeling?
And you wouldn't be able to see through the mage hand.
No. I just mean, like, just right in front of us. Like, a few feet in front of us.
Huh?
Just in front of us so that, like, if there's anything there, it would bump into it.
I can see him too.
That's
Let's
fine.
make it poke the tiles that we're
Mage.
walking on.
The hand isn't.
It's invisible
She's
because of the rogue architect.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Well, I actually don't want it to be invisible right now.
Attention to me.
It
Okay.
does not matter. We're gonna go in this room.
Yeah.
So going up the stairway, mage hand ahead. Says, "Oh, a mage." You hear the voice again. "Oh, a mage hand. Well, they're as distrustful as a lot of devils, aren't you? Just make your way up to the throne room.
Is it message? Like, can we respond?
You could talk back if it's not. No,
Okay.
no one is sure whether
It's
you
fine.
hear.
Just like out loud, I'd be like, yeah, it's kept us alive this far. Do you want to grab the other grab the fridge?
No, it's
I
fine.
want to drink her.
Oh, okay.
I want to drink her cup. Okay.
It's like having a child, except he's an adult.
No, I want yours. Yeah.
This is what happens when you get married. Just
Going up several floors, you find that it becomes colder and colder. Drifts of snow begin to pile up around the edges of the stairwell. And finally, passing by the other levels, unless you guys want to search level by level, you can go straight up to the throne room, unimpeded.
Throne room.
I hand him a potion, by the way.
I already have one. Give me
I
it.
gotta give him a different kind. Oh, actually.
So,
Greatest drinks for 23.
in the throne room, you finally come to the entrance and find that the door is not trapped or locked.
No, it's 23. I've got it.
Boy,
It says
You
23
lot.
on mine.
Frost
Frost
Let the narration happen, guys.
guys.
Come on. Hey.
Don't make me use my teacher books.
Is that like customer service voice, or we just got top of the loop?
Sure, so anyways, moving on. You all have reached the top of the stairs. Y'all. You find the door unlocked, untrapped.
Who's taking the lead here, guys?
I'll go inside.
I'll be right next to you.
Okay.
I'm gonna squeeze that potion.
I'll be behind Martin because she's insistent on being closer.
Super.
The shaking from the earthquake increases slightly. You can see, piles of snow and ice breaking off from the walls. But you're entering first, right? So,
Yes.
as you enter, you are into basically a grand ice-filled throne room. Basically, something straight out of the movie Frozen. There are two thrones sitting far across a gleaming, almost marble smooth floor. In one sits an elf, sort of blue tinge to her skin, almost drow-like. And next to her sits the demon Teniel.
Sorry, dude. What was his name again?
Her name was
Gamreed.
Gimreed. I changed it. It's not Mob anymore.
I do not currently have that enhanced ability because I died.
So that is what you see. You can see Teniel is sort of humanoid in form. Also kind of dark skin, but with a blue tinge. You can tell the land he hails from is kind of Stygia, land of ice and pain.
So she's on one of the thrones?
And he is
and
sitting
he's
in one
sitting
next
on
to
the
her.
other. Okay. Is there anyone else in the room?
No.
Anything invisible?
No. So, you wish to speak to me? Here I am. Enter.
I enter.
We enter. I enter as well.
I enter as well.
So, you say the Summer Queen wants to parley, and that Queen Titiana sent you, and all kinds of other nonsense. Tell me truly, why? Why do you intrude here? Says Teniel.
Yeah.
I'm like, but they're so annoyed with me, I don't say anything.
I'm ready to talk.
Okay. Queen Gemry. Queen Titiana is not very happy with your choice of partner.
Teniel kind of smiles at that. Give your hand a little squeeze.
Did you make this choice of your own volition?
You can tell old Titty Bird back in the summer court that yes, I did.
So she
I-
calls her sister?
Yes.
And you're
So
choosing
posh.
to stick with this?
Of course, he's ruler of 5 of the 8 hells. A very important man.
The Feywild is very possibly about to be under siege by stone giants.
And
Now
wouldn't
is not the time to create further rifts between us.
Titty Bird's the one who started it by closing the marriage anyways. And what better way to stop stone giants than with an army of devils that simply go back to Stygia if defeated in battle? She's the one being unreasonable here. I should be the one in charge of the Feywild. Don't you agree?
She wants to work together with you. She loves you. She doesn't want division.
And I suppose that's why the Autumn Prince left them. Because she's just so interested in sharing her power with everybody else. Oh, our brother, he ended up taking his people and leaving the Feywild altogether because of her.
Where did he go?
Where did they go?
Nobody knows. That's the problem. So now I think she made him go away because he always liked me better. And now I had to find new allies. And then, Teniel here showed up and just swept me off my feet.
Just in time. Just perfectly in time. Don't you think that's a bit strange?
Oh, love can be strange,
Or
can't it?
convenient?
Did you sort of check out and make to see if she's under a spell of some sort? Can I do that?
Not sure.
I'm not really
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not
I think
appreciating
you'd be
anything
able
like
to.
that.
I would.
If anybody, I've
Inside
actually
check to see if
spoken
she's
to her
scared or
before.
something?
I guess you could do that. I mean,
Being
you heard
forced to
it.
say
I
what
mean,
she's
yeah,
saying.
an archfey would be very difficult to read,
What about just
obviously.
insight? Can I roll insight for it?
But I mean, I don't want to have just everyone roll separate insight checks.
Can I just...
I don't want to do an insight check, but I would like to make a perception check on any matching jewelry between her and Tino. May I do that?
Okay.
Perception of time.
My passive insight is 21.
I mean, she doesn't seem to be scared or under any distress.
Okay.
Duress, I guess, yeah.
22.
Let's see, they both are wearing similar style rings, and he's wearing a small crown, and she's wearing a crown as well, tiara.
Okay.
That's so funny. Technical difficulties. Just stole one sock from that bedroom. Just randomly.
That stinking
No, but remember, I used to live with like more people, so
Okay.
we're still at Ainsborough.
Sorry, let's get back to you.
I want to take a look around and see if there are like
Exits?
What?
Other exits?
nothing. Never mind.
The door. Surely, the door.
There's just the one door.
The one that
The one we came in?
Yeah, you can't see any more exits.
I tap my ear.
So,
Anybody else don't me?
Don't have a
And then
little
each-
sorry, this is what I actually wanted to do. I wanted to use my divine sense to see if there are any
Celestials, fiends,
aberration.
celestials, fiend, undead.
just the only fiend you can sense is Temiel. Sitting on a throne in front of you.
Okay.
I guess Faye would be the queen,
And me.
and her. But no others.
So what do you?
Says, you're checking things. All of you are so distrustful of old Temiel.
See, what do you gain from this alliance?
Why? The love of a beautiful and interesting woman.
Yeah, a few of those, yeah.
Oh, funny.
I'm just gonna step aside. I know that some of you want to speak to Daniel about your previous partner, or party member.
Speak is probably not the right word.
Okay. Whatever.
Yell? Whisper?
Yeah.
What words would you use?
Well,
Waiting for.
do you still have any inkling of where Zambri might be, by any chance?
Sounds like you want information from me. I should charge you something for it, but, it's still kind of a honeymoon period for us, so... Sure, I don't know what happened to Zenbury. She's no longer under my purview. Seems that she's wrangled her... can't speak. She's, sent her soul off to another, perhaps. I swear, I've never seen a mortal shift her soul around so many times. Well, not in a while, at least. Is there anything else you want to know? Perhaps how things are going in the material plane? It's been quite some time since you've been there, hasn't it?
We have a semi-idea of what's taking place at the moment. We understand the All-Father's made his appearance, yes?
The shaking intensifies a small bit. You can tell Teniel's a little annoyed by this, kind of speaking louder to you guys. Well, yeah, there's
What is the shaking?
earthquakes, I suppose. I don't know. Can't rightly say.
Can I... Apologies, may I see if we're about to be attacked? Do you mind? Not by you, of course, but I have a sneaky suspicion.
Go ahead. It's always good to know, I suppose. I should post a ranger in the basement, maybe.
I put my hand to the ground, and I'm going to concentrate for a minute and do my primeval awareness, see if there are a number of giants within 5 miles of us.
There are no giants within 5 miles of you.
How about shapeshifters? Lots, I would imagine.
Probably some in the castle still.
Any things that would feel familiar?
I mean, maybe some of the people you saw earlier could have been shapeshifters in the first hall. And in that surrounding area, there'd be some unfamiliar shapeshifters in the mountains.
Okay.
But on this floor with you, no.
Okay. Well,
And as for giants, no.
Quick DM question. Did you understand us if it killed Tamino?
Or get rid of them.
get rid of me.
Break them up or something, yeah.
I have no ideas.
So,
Ideas, I just don't know what to
he's
do.
yelling, what are you here for? You're here to fight? You're here to parlay further?
We're here to ask you to leave.
Oh? Where to?
Go back to where you came from.
Okay. exchanged, vows were said. It's as
Yes.
official as any other marriage.
Yes, but who blessed the marriage?
I'm an archfiend. I can bless whatever I like.
So
May
I'd
I
like to know.
message Martin? Message, you don't have to do anything, right?
No, I don't think there's a. I think it would be kind of pointless if there was a
No, it's
verbal
a-
component
no,
to
it's
it.
Very secretive.
Do you have dispel magic? Would you kindly cast it on the queen? As high level as you can make it, and I'm gonna message, but just let me message Perdita first. Perdita, I think maybe the queen is under some form of gaze, maybe via jewelry. Do we have your permission to try and spell it?
Of course. Just don't harm her.
Thumbs up from Jason.
While they're doing that, I ask you, do you know anything about Kunla?
I know a few things about Kunla.
Sorry,
Of course I do.
Where is the aboleth?
Where's the aboleth? Oh no. Are you gonna go hunt it down?
Of course.
I just look at him like incredulously, like, what the fuck?
That might be juicy enough for me to tell you. I'm not too happy with this Kunla fellow.
Paladins of Cambodia are currently looking for it. We have a holy crusade out for its blood. We will kill it.
Why don't you just ask Kellamvor where it is if he's so mighty? But he's rather distracted right now, isn't he? Things in the Feywild are a lot more calm as the shaking becomes more intense.
Dust is falling down.
We're just fine here. You can see Queen Gemry is clutching her throne
The room next door.
very
China breaks on the
strongly.
ground.
You begin to look at him a little.
Where is this aboleth?
The aboleth.
And what level?
Okay. Well, nothing to dispel. I suppose, perhaps her.
Every 5th level spell or lower is
Yes.
auto dispelled.
I would say maybe, her skin. It's a little less pristine there. You see, she's got a small blemish under her ear back
Took
here.
away her
You
magic
spelled
makeup.
makeup.
So glad
Just
that
spell
aren't my
makeup.
only 5th level spells.
Her hair,
The charisma's gone down.
golden yellow instead of white like the snow. She's like, oh, my word. Puts her glamours back up. I mean, a little more sag in certain areas that wasn't there.
Here.
But was she under some sort of gaze or something? No, she's just infatuated with a demon. She's a bad boy.
The worst kind of gaze.
Love.
I do apologize. I just had to make sure this decision was yours.
Alright.
Dear, should we maybe?
I think that we need to take action.
Where is the aboleth?
The amulet. Spreading misery in Baldur's Deep.
Those
Though.
gates, maybe? Baldur's Deep?
Baldur's
Baldur's Gate? Deep. Baldur's Deep or Watergate?
Sounds like a nice.
Watergate, yes.
Oh my
I was kind of like running towards like, where's
What?
Baldur's Deep?
Kids.
Where's Baldur's Deep?
Don't do
Do
drugs.
drugs. Don't buy drugs. Become a rock star.
You know what? Also, don't listen to me because I'm a hypocrite. Anyway, Baldur's Gate.
Wait, do they listen to you now or not?
Kids.
He said, don't listen to me.
Don't just say I'm a hypocrite. So-
Don't listen to me. Yeah, don't ever listen to some idiot on the internet.
Turn off the
Spelling
podcast, go home,
nonsense.
it's fine.
Okay,
Yes, they're
sorry.
DM's
Do you have
government.
the DM's guide?
I don't. Continue.
Okay. Though Kunla's other servants are spread throughout the Sword Coast, you'll find.
Just kind of set my head.
His two generals.
Oh, yes.
I don't like that. I want to fight them.
Good mom.
I have no problem with this union as it stands. They're both considering people.
Someone's like, "Yeah, should we maybe plan on going somewhere? Or this earthquake isn't stopping."
The queen wants to leave.
It's not a terrible idea to get out of the thing that could crush and kill us all.
And okay, so you feel, even against your willpower, a sudden pull back toward the Emerald Keep.
All of us?
All of you,
Including Perdita.
including Perdita.
Pull as in she is yanking us there now?
Yes.
Aye.
Are you going to try and resist this?
No.
No.
Alright, so you find yourselves along with the Winter Queen, being pulled quickly, almost instantaneously across the length of the Feywild.
Throw a shuriken at Tamil just before I go, if I can.
He
Just for the fun of
it
it.
embeds itself in his hand. He kind of looks at it quizzically before you're pulled away.
You take 0.1 damage.
Guess whatever, a D4 of damage. I guess it's a martial arts weapon, so whatever. It still wouldn't kill him or anything.
Damn it, it's not a one-shot.
Okay.
You rolled 3 20s in a row.
You suddenly find yourself with the Winter Queen sitting on the lawn of the Emerald Keep. The earthquake rages equally as powerfully here.
All she needed was the
Well-
transporter coordinates.
Yeah.
What is...
Well,
What?
we're not inside something that's going to fall
where
on
are
us.
we?
In the distance, you can see that the lands of winter in the Feywild are in chaos. Lightning. I'm going to read a thing now.
Read a thing,
Read a thing.
So, looking across the breadth of the Feywild, lightning crashes against the mountain peaks in the distance, blasting boulders and ice high into the sky. A deep rumbling shakes the depths below. The mountains begin to crash into each other, and the Emerald Palace behind you cracks, and pieces of it shatter off, falling around you. The deep rumbling turns into a high-pitched crash, like a train inside of your skull. A white beam of pure energy breaks through the ground in the far distance, enveloping the far half of the Feywild entirely. The mountains, still holding Gemreid's palace, hang placidly in the air. Then, all at once, they disintegrate. From the now empty void where the kingdom of ice once stood, only a few moments ago, rise 6 serpentine heads, with fangs the size of mountains, each eye an ocean of molten gold and jade. As the 6 heads rise into the sky, each undulating body wraps around until they form together. The Void Nagas' heads begin arcing back down toward the shifting fields of summer directly ahead of you.
Yeah, we gotta get the fuck out of here.
I grabbed the ice queen.
She is frozen in fear. You're able to grip her arm.
Unlevel, I'm freezing.
Yeah. And I just call out, Summer Queen!
Tatiana. Yeah, but yeah, you can...
Tatiana, where should we go?
The Void Naga's heads begin arcing back downward toward the shifting fields of summer. Let's see, from their gaping maws, eternally hungry for new worlds to devour, beams of pure destruction rip the remains of the Feywild apart. The middlemost head of the Naga, wearing a crown of broken worlds on his head, gazes down at you with one hate-filled eye. Upon falling under its gaze, you're frozen in fear. Even you, Feather Marshal. As it rears back to strike. As it pulls back to strike at the hills of the Evergreen Palace, you can feel Queen Titiana's will pulling you away. Before they land, you and a scattered few hundred creatures find themselves on the great plains of the material plane south of Waterdeep. Ahead of you commonly known as the God's Throne Mountain. But where it usually sits empty, there now sits an enormous figure. Like an older man with bluish-green tinged skin, a beard falling into his lap. He sits on the mountain as if it were just a throne for a king, and he slumbers. Wind and snow lashes at you from all directions as you're in an open field in the middle of a snowstorm.
Are both queens with us?
Yes.
Anyone else we recognize?
Bartholomew is there
Yeah.
in his more natural form. I guess his natural form is just an old elven man. There are a few other somewhat familiar faces.
In the red
A small herd? Pack? I don't know what the exact term is, but a small grouping of hamsters races up near Feather Marshall's legs.
Alright.
Jessica gets hungry.
The revelers at the party sit there bewildered.
A horde.
A horde of hamsters
Yes. Hamster?
gathers around Feather Marshall's legs for warmth.
It's a hand turret.
Yes, yeah, you can see they're wearing cute little villager outfits.
Queen Titiana, is this why you sent us there? Did you know this was coming?
She sits in the snow on her knees, just staring ahead, hands buried underneath the snow. Oberon stalks around the perimeter of the group, trying to call people together. Her consort, her lover, goat man, half goat, half
Is
badass.
this natural weather or magical weather?
Natural weather. It's winter.
It's
It's
about frost giants.
yeah. The winter has been raging in the material plane for far longer than usual now.
I guess we wouldn't have any way of knowing. I was trying to figure out how long it's been since we've been gone.
Yeah, that would be
But I don't
not
think
something
we
you can
can
just
do
roll
that.
for necessarily.
Is this the old father? I asked the queen. And was that the void naga? Fuck shit up.
Based on all
So nobody
descriptions.
said.
I don't know.
Based on all descriptions,
So-
that was the point.
It's so cold out here.
Here, my queen. I give her my ring of warmth.
Queen, I'm sorry.
I'm never gonna get her name.
Queen Gemreed, she seems to snap to reality and pushes the snow and ice away from you guys, forming at least sort of, maybe not a warm area, but an area where the wind and snow isn't whipping at you so violently. Almost like an igloo, yeah. She kind of forms some an ice dwelling for you guys to huddle in for a bit. And you can tell that the denizens of the Feywild are quite in shock of what happened.
I'm also trying.
I don't
Imagine, yeah, all of you can decide how you're affected by this necessarily,
I'm
but
just gonna walk outside of the ice dwelling and see if I can find like some pieces of wood and come back in and start a small fire.
okay.
It's safe around us. It's not like marauding giants running around throwing shit.
No one's really checked for that or anything.
Yeah.
Can I have a look around?
That's what I said.
Nice. So
So
you're
you
gonna,
walk 60 feet up and have a look around.
okay, so you climb on top of the ice dwelling. I suppose you can up there. Give me a perception check.
I'll do the same thing with primeval awareness.
Like, how many times can you use that?
As
Unlimited?
many times as you like, I believe. You just have to concentrate for a minute. Let me double check.
Okay.
But I think it's just a thing you do.
As long as you're
Pizza is
Perception,
so
yeah.
shocked that she can't respond to anything right now.
Right,
Or
so-
if I am
17 perception.
17 perception. Okay, so near the god's throne, you can see small figures clambering about it.
Those small figures would be huge if I was there.
Yes, yes, it does appear that there are giants.
It doesn't say that I can't use as many times as I want.
Alright, so you use it and you can find that within 5 miles. I would say God's throne is maybe 4.5 miles away, so it's a good distance away, probably straight. I know the human eye can see quite a distance in clear weather,
Yeah.
but this is a blizzard actually. So I would say actually Feather Marshal, you're not able to glean much useful information, but he's able to tell that there are many giants near the god's throne. But
Direct
all
idea
kinds.
of
the
many?
can you tell the type?
Yeah.
Type and amount, I think.
Yeah, and a number.
Right.
Mention that,
You can see that there are roughly 20 or so frost giants around the god's throne ruin/mountain.
Yeah. Frost giants are there, busy, I guess, worshipping it up, I would imagine. About 20.
So what's the
I'm
major
just
city
like
we
sitting
closest
down
to?
with my arms around my legs,
What are
just like.
What are they?
What? Is there a question for me?
Closest major city?
Closest major city would be Waterdeep.
Which is how far away?
Oh god, I wonder if I have all my maps. Let's see. Okay, so this is the closest one, I guess. God's Throne's runes are about here. So Waterdeep would be here, maybe down to this line here, and Waterdeep would be here, maybe on the coast. You're not too far from the coast. I would say, if it, marching in perfect conditions, you could get there in about 2 days.
The Queen, do you have any allies on the material plane? Is there anywhere you need to go?
Perhaps a few, but I called most of them to me for protection in the Feywild.
If you allow, I can perhaps provide you with a feeling of clarity.
Do you think that you're...
It's a question.
No. I am Claire. I can see clearly right now.
Would you like to go to Waterdeep?
No, not Waterdeep.
The major cities are going to be targets.
Perhaps...
Didn't you?
Perhaps in the old forests of the elves I can find.
All the elves are there.
If you're looking,
They came to me. They came to me for protection.
Druids as well.
quick
And I couldn't
question.
take them all back. I
Quick
couldn't bring
question.
them back here.
Is the ziggurat still there?
Yeah, it didn't disappear.
Probably know them.
I tell her I know one place that might still be safe.
Safe. What could be safe? The Feywild wasn't safe. That was my own realm.
Do you guys think that the ziggurat is not compromised after we took the helm? Or do you think it will still survive?
I think its purpose is to come back again and again and again, but I would imagine with the shock that I'm seeing here that hasn't happened to the Feywild before in one of the cycles.
I'm not so sure about that.
I haven't fucking lived through more than one cycle. Okay?
Yeah.
No.
How did you guys?
No, I haven't. I don't know how anyone could have. It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know how you guys didn't do like that.
The last time we were there, I was asking about it.
Me
Yeah.
too. Well, answers very vague. My character.
I've lived for nearly 3,000 years. From what I understand, there was one summer queen before me.
We know the place where you can escape the cycle.
You don't think
Where?
there is a place.
Do you?
Where is it?
The ziggurat. The ziggurat.
Yeah, but Feywild should have as well. Like,
Well, there's actually no reason to believe that it was. It was just her belief that it would go through the cycle. But honestly, I guess you could make your own interpretation because with the information you were given, I guess I shouldn't
For all we know,
give you the real answer all the time.
for all we know, the ziggurat is remade every cycle. For all we know, and plus, it is currently full of Nagas and undead giants. If you don't remember,
Oh shit.
that's not safe for anybody.
Where is safe? Is there?
how about the castle of the dwarves and the gnome inventor? He had a plan to fix all this. Maybe we should go see him.
He's in the underdog, isn't he?
No, he's
Uh,
in his
nah,
mountain.
Not
One
done
of the
that.
mountains. Or the turtle? Do you know where the turtle is? Grandfather Turtle?
I think I could perhaps locate him. We've met before. I can scry him.
What do
He
you mean
might
looking for
be
him?
safer than most.
We need to get there as well.
So Martin's gonna stand
you
up
take
and
us
then
there?
dust herself off.
I'm sorry?
Can you take us to him?
I mean, I could.
We've been looking for him, but we found no way of finding him other than knowing that he's somewhere in the ocean to the west.
It took a great deal of power to move all these people here, and to see my people to some sort of safety.
We have a castle in Waterdeep. You are more than welcome to come with us. We could fly part of the way if you would prefer.
Maybe we get how many people is it that you bring over? Hundreds?
We have a large castle. I'm sure it's big
Is that
enough.
castle big enough?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could fit.
And it's in the Magic College, so yeah.
Well, yes, that would
Let us go fetch it.
work. I could find him. I just need some time, I think.
Okay, let us go fetch the castle and we'll come pick you up.
Uh,
She doesn't want to go to Waterdeep.
Would you like to come to the city with us, or would you prefer to wait here?
I think waiting here would be a foolish idea if
With
they're
the
stone
frost
giants.
giants.
They're frost
Well, just
giants.
come closer, I mean, but don't go into the city.
Yes. I think with my sister here, we should be able to brave the blizzard and make our way to Waterdeep safely. I think that will work. Yes,
I have a question.
of course.
Since you know, for Ben, not.
Oh, okay.
Since this is not magical weather, would Cloud Slicer be able to slice through this weather?
Yes.
Could also send up a huge flare.
Well, obviously I'm going to wait a little while until we get away from the frost giants and then start to cut through the weather.
Would anybody care to join me on tracking? Can we try and make a clearer way for us to Waterdeep? Shall we leave now? Are you prepared? Or would you like to wait?
My queen, I think we should go.
Okay. Just give me a couple moments to gather everyone together and to use the restroom, and then we'll get started on
Shall
this.
we
trip.
take an hour to prepare for a short rest?
I think that would be fine.
Alright, so
We'll get in a short rest.
Damn it, I need that boon. Is our... We still got 8? That's 8 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. It lasts a long time.
Nice.
Short rest, I need bonus action. Oh,
Two
my
might do it.
3d8.
I'm on 61 now. I can heal up to maximum 95. I'll try 3. Let's see what that gives me. How many am I down? 34. Yeah. Fuck it, I'll use 4. Why not? This goes crazy. Let's use 4 d10s for my
fine.
Daniel,
dice.
our potions are dead.
6, 12.
Okay, now, I think by now, do I still have that temp HP?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's 16 plus 5 is 21.
I've already forgotten it. Saying your numbers out loud.
Sorry.
Give you guys a minute to do your short rest stuff then.
Yeah, I'm going to take my health, my strength down.
I did not try. I was gonna. But we went through the door too quick.
Yeah, I'm full. I forgot about my con mods as well. So
I didn't get touched. Basically,
Alright, I'm full.
You done jinxed yourself, son.
You are me.
Fake 9, 5.
Why are you so... Oh, because I sneezed.
God, I need to fucking practice.
Okay.
So, who would like to assist me with tracking?
I can.
Alright, so I'll roll with the bronze.
Oh no,
Well,
actually
well,
my survival's really high.
We'll at least get there in normal time without having to worry about the difficult terrain so much.
If necessary, I also have the spell Freedom of Movement.
7, really? Alright, maybe it'll take us longer than I thought. 14.
Okay, so 14's gonna help a little bit.
But this difficult terrain doesn't impede our movement at all.
Doesn't impede our movement.
So, finally getting going, you guys make your way north and west toward the city of Waterdeep.
I assume cutting like a really big swath around.
Yeah, trying to stay as far away from that as possible, but even through this blizzard and this weather, you can still see the shadow of god's throne just looming in the distance the entire way. The worst effects of the cold are being held at bay, but you can tell that the effort is taking some toll on the Winter Queen, though not as much as it seems Titiana has suffered.
Which one's worse?
The Summer Queen, she's feeling much worse exhaustion than the Winter Queen is.
Doesn't she have the ring that he gave her?
Well, she didn't need that because the Winter Queen acted and did some shit, so.
Well, and it wouldn't keep her from being tired.
No, just keep her from being cold.
Getting that adrenaline crash.
Princess of Spring, she's kind of staying in the middle, and pretty much anywhere she steps, anywhere she looks, lush wildflowers bloom in her wake and then wither and die away a few moments later. And much in this way, the caravan of elves and satyrs and pixies and hamsters and sentient bunnies and things.
Once we get a mile to us, I'm going to use control letter.
Huh?
Clear a path.
Nice. So, using Cloud Slicer, you make the path even clearer. And so I would say you'll be able to reach Waterdeep quite a bit faster now. Instead of 2 days, basically by nighttime, you can see the walls of the city in the far distance.
We didn't tell Corden to take the castle.
Only if it was attacked.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't attacked from what we know.
What did he even mean? Oh, we don't know yet.
Around the city of Waterdeep, you can see great bonfires, wood piled as high as houses surrounding the city of Waterdeep. More fires blaze near the docks and just out in the water.
Was the second sun still visible?
The second sun has been moved, it seems, out from the fields, and it now shines above the city of Waterdeep directly, hanging from the peak of Lathander's Cathedral.
It's still daytime or is it nighttime now?
It's nighttime, but there is an unnatural light over the city.
Are there stars?
They're a bit obscured, I guess, by the light pollution.
Okay, I was just wondering if I could try and figure out how long we've gone by looking at the movement of the stars.
Yeah, okay.
Perception.
Give it a try.
You pass anybody else? Tell us what the date is.
22?
22. Okay, so it's not easy to do, but you're able to tell that at the very least.
Where's my sock?
At least a month and a half has passed.
Son of a bitch. We've been gone a month and a half.
With all of this going on here, should we try and maybe send a message to Kahul saying that we're on our way?
Can we see if it looks like a siege
Yes,
for
I think.
fires, or is it just...
I guess you have military experience.
Why don't you
Can I get
contact
closer
her
with
and
everybody else first? Like, tell
Just
everybody to
let me
wait here.
Sure, if you want to.
Go sneak
Go
ahead.
ahead.
That's fair.
I'm gonna sneak ahead and go see what's going on with these fires.
What's the name of that one?
Elvira?
Right. I'm gonna cast sending. Send a message to Elvira
Okay.
that I'm one of Garuda. We are heading into Waterdeep with
What's left of the Feywild?
what's left of the Feywild. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Alright, so you send a message, then she can reply back walkie-talkie style or whatever.
I ask you, can you do that multiple times?
I could expend a higher spell. Well, no, that's about the only time I can do it right now.
So,
I have used most of my spell slots for that.
Elvira spends. Wait a minute. So you've all been in the Feywild?
Yep.
Okay, well, was it at least worthwhile going there?
So can we come in? Can you give us some aid? Can you put us up in some places?
Well, I'm not in Waterdeep right now.
Where are you?
I'm in Mount Gundad, something like that. That's the human word for it. But the gnome Farkas. We found found out some more information from his castle, and so me and a couple other wizards were sent as a delegation to him.
What's the status of Waterdeep?
Not good, I'm afraid. The frost giants have cut it off. As far as I know, it still stands as a free city, but things are getting a little meaner, a little more desperate. The wizards can only create so much food, but without them, I think it would have fallen by now. So I guess, yeah, everyone's fed on rations.
Yeah.
Giants have cut the city off by land and by sea.
Can you tell us all?
Yeah, I am relaying as I was wrong. I have 2 third level spells, so I can cast it one more time.
Well, yeah.
Is there anything else we need to know?
Where's the castle?
Yeah. Is the castle still in Waterdeep?
It should be.
Is there a different place of safety? That you know of?
What's your should come to them?
Like safe cities,
Yeah.
things like that. Well, I know the city of, I'm sorry, I believe Stonebrook, far to the south, is where most of the refugees from Baldur's Gate have ended up. Let's see, I'm sorry, not Stone. Brightwater is a safe city, but that's very far to the south.
Say that loud. Brightwater's a safe city.
Gilly's Storm Chaser.
I don't know if Neverwinter still stands, but
Neverwinter unknown.
and she rattles off a few mid-sized towns. All the major metropolises seem to be attacked or unknown. There are a couple dwarf holds, she mentions, but it seems that they have taken a more isolationist stance recently.
No caravan.
Can you meet us?
Let me sneak in and get the castle.
Candlekeep is still a safe place. They keep in regular contact with the Wizards College.
Candlekeep.
But that is also far to the south.
Impractical.
Impractical, though.
How far is Farkas from here?
Farkas is with Elvira?
Yeah.
Or Mount Gambad?
Yeah, I would say if you went now much farther to the east on foot, it would
Oh,
be,
by the castle.
well, by castle, maybe 3 days. On foot, like a week and a half.
Maybe we get the castle.
Or I could just send a message to Zimbri's brother and ask him to bring the castle here. As long as they know them.
Did you meet him?
Sending message doesn't go that far. You got
No, sending. I've got one more spell slot for sending. Because I thought his fourth level was third level.
Okay.
It will
Yeah.
wipe out the rest of my
So I think that's a good plan. Just ask Gordon to bring here.
send message to Gordon.
Hang on.
Hi.
Before you do that,
Okay.
can you please ask Elvira if she knew what happened to the Knights of Kalimdor? Because they were in the city looking for the amulet and tending to the people.
I think that could be good.
Or we,
Can we get our castle?
I mean, if I can sleep, I will ask her all the questions you want.
Alright, so
I just think that maybe our connection's already set. Unless
That's
it's
the
not.
GM, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's up to you. She was at sending, so maybe she's trying to use to communicate with us.
did the connection cut? I don't think so, if you didn't intend to do that yet.
Knights of Kalimdor, ring any bells? You know where they are?
Knights of Kalimdor. Well, they're spread all out, actually, from what I understand. They didn't stay in Waterdeep for very long.
Super spread out, not water. Alright, we're gonna get the castle and head away. Maybe meet up.
Should we come? Yeah, ask her if we should come to
Okay, should we come to you? Is it safe there?
That's up to you, depends on what your quest is.
We
Safe
already
there.
made
It is
promise
safe.
to-
I don't think
to
anything could actually
take her someplace.
come
to
here.
Father Grandfather.
They didn't intend it. It's the mightiest fortress I've ever seen.
Of whole Rome's can fall
I'll
with the
get in
use
touch
of
with you
the
tomorrow.
use of fortress.
I said thanks, and I'll get in touch with
Cut
you
the connection.
tomorrow.
Alright.
Well, either way, we need the castle, and then we can decide which direction we're gonna go.
So you're gonna try and talk to Gordon?
Before we do, maybe we should find out what we're going to tell him. Like, I mean, are we going to try and evacuate the people from the city, or some people?
No.
No.
No, we can. The
We
castle
don't
will come
have-
here.
we
We've
don't
got
have
hundreds
lovely if you could bring the castle here.
Well, that's kind of one of the things about how the mood has changed. It seems that the wizards don't want me leaving this room necessarily.
In the castle or in the wizard's college?
In the college, they're being nice enough, but something tells me they kind of want to keep that castle in their back pocket in case
Think I'm gonna have to go and get
they need to leave.
You're safe. You can get out.
I guess I'll relay that.
So,
Akul
nicer-
says that you're a
nicer
thief.
Your intelligence.
Well, okay, but beyond that, it's just that there's not. See, they turned me into a bird. I'm in a cage in the room.
Oh, that is rough.
I only got wings, and I've been trying with my beak, but this cage bars are really strong.
Alright, can you give me a decent layout of where in the castle you are?
Well, actually, I can see out on the courtyard,
Nice.
so I'm on the east side of the castle. In the courtyard, I think second floor, but it's a little disorienting, honestly. I don't get to see much out. They put me out by the window sometimes if it's a bright day.
Oh. Okay. Well, in that case, hold tight. We will come get you.
Okay, that would be great,
Anything
actually.
else we should know about
Did they
Waterdeep, how it's changed, where the castle is now?
Did they move the castle?
No, it's still in the courtyard. There's nowhere else to put it, really.
Yeah.
But, well, okay, from what I understand, giants are roaming the docks. And it's only the city's inner curtain wall that's holding them back right now. Count Yuling's leading the defense, though. And they've been holding them off, I guess. It seems like the giants haven't been able to break through.
Yuling is participating himself.
Yeah, before they changed me, I guess, and stopped giving me the news. He lost a hand, actually.
Huh.
But did kill the giant.
What about the walled city?
Kaloon? People don't really hear much from them. The big walls have been keeping them safe, though.
Right.
I wish I could help you more, but like I said, you guys have been gone for a long time, and I'm not really up to date.
Yeah, I will explain more. It's very confusing, to be honest.
Okay.
Okay. Hold tight. We'll be
Relay
there
that
soon. Anyone else have anything else they need to ask me before I stop doing this? Because I got a headache.
Any wards or guards you saw them put on the castle?
Any boards or guards that you saw to put on the castle?
Well-
The college, you mean?
Yeah.
Or our castle?
Our castle.
Our castle.
They've been rummaging through there for a while now. I would bet that some of them are
Thieves.
probably living in there, honestly, living a high life off our food and our beds. But I don't know about wards.
And they've probably changed the codes as well. So you can't just run in there willy-nilly. You're going to get our legs chopped off.
But we didn't give them admin.
Nobody gave us admin either.
We have to find it.
Yes? No? Dating?
I'm finished.
Alright.
No more.
Hold on, Glenn. We'll be there.
Okay, I'm waiting. I'm getting tired of crackers.
And that's the last thing he hears before I drop
I
him.
think we should sneak in, all of us, under my sneaky spell and take the castle back by force. But not fatal force on the wizards.
I don't necessarily care. Fatal force or non-fatal
I
force.
don't care about fatal force, but I do care if you take fatal force.
Okay, you're gonna have to either get used to it or something. Cause like,
Or something.
what are you gonna do? Like,
Come at me, bro.
I can't just let all of you guys die because you're a little bit uncomfortable with the fact that I can do it.
So I sneak closer to the fires. Do I see?
Okay, so
do I
upon
see-
closer inspection, you can see that several of the frost giant longships were dragged onto shore, like leaving, rivets in the earth, and they've sort of put it as like an encircling wall around the walls of Waterdeep. A few of them burn torches, watch the horizon, and some of them patrol the other side, watching the city for counterattacks.
Can
Anyone ever use?
Titiana
Yeah, I'm doing that differently next time.
send us into...
I can only play for 8 minutes.
Okay.
Can Titiana send us
Okay,
into-
let's
Stop here.
Stop here?
mm,
Okay, I think that's fair. It gives me time to plan out the Frost Giants' defenses and what's going on in Waterdeep a little bit more. So, yeah, I think... So, our heroes...
Any tunnels you think it was?
Been transported from the Void Naga's wrath back into the material plane, where they lead a caravan of no-good, illegal Fey folk into the gate through the gates of Waterdeep.
Oh, a caravan, really?
A caravan. And so they seek the shelter of Grandfather Turtle in these trying times. Our heroes tend to go there anyway. But will they go there? Will they go to Farkas's Keep? Will they even be able to get past the Frost Giant defenses into the city? Find out next time on Dice, Nerds, and Nagas!